Good day and welcome everyone. You're watching the 2025 West Indies Rising Stars Women Under 19 Championship. And what a thrilling day of cricket we have lined up. Right now we are bringing you the live coverage of the 5th and 6th place playoff at the National Cricket Centre here in Couva between Guyana and Windward Islands. Guyana won the toss and opted to bat first. Two proud teams looking to close their tournament on a high. But that's just one part of the action-packed lineup for today. Over at the UE ground, it is a heated battle for third place between Trinidad and Jamaica, and the grand final in Diego Martin, where Barbados take on the Leeward Islands in what promises to be a classic showdown. Joining me today on commentary will be Mr. Adam Furlong.
Good morning, viewers. Very excited to be here with you today. It's going to be a very exciting day of cricket. Perfect conditions here in Balmain, Couva for a game. It's nice, brilliant sunshine. We've had a few rainy days here in this tournament. My co-commentator and our producer, Mr. Ronnie, can attest to that fact. But here we are. We're excited. We should get a full 35 over affair across the two innings. Guyana, of course, winning the toss and choosing to bat. That's Ram Haridas and the vice-captain Durant out there to open it up for the Guyanese women.
Yes, and on the playing 11 today for Guyana will be Miss Hardat, Miss Williams, Miss Durant, Belgrave, Isaacs, Mans, Williams, Ram Haridas, Samaru, Clito, and Barkoi.
So it'll be Selena Ross kick things off here today. Oh, starts with a good one right outside the line of the off stump.
Yes, a really good field placement here by the captain, having a slip in place early.
Playing 11 today for the Windwards would be Antoine, Francois, George, Gilbert, Jeffrey, Philip, the skipper, Selena Ross, Simon makes up the bench today, alongside Celeste and Adams, Small, Terrell, Tyson and Woods.
A big allowed appeal there, and it is given by the umpire. Selena Ross has struck a wicket in her second delivery of this game.
A very early wicket here for Selena Ross. She pulls out her trademark celebration. The umpire, that's Mr. Rajkumar there on that note, and took a second, pondered it over in his head. It seemed like a good delivery there, about middle and off. Have a look back at it on the replay. Yeah, it looked about as plumb as it gets, doesn't it? That ball just moving back in with the breeze from the right to left of your screen. And it'll see the back of the vice skipper Durant early on here, going for no score.
And Miss Sienna Barkoi will be joining Miss Ram Hordas in the middle now.
So umpires for today, Mr. Rajkumar at that north end, the south end, Miss Vicky Daniels. Mr. Rajkumar, part of the senior umpiring committee. Vicky Daniels, part of the women's umpiring committee, Trinidad and Tobago. So it'll be Barkoi now to face up to a revved up Selena Ross. Oh, again, it's a good delivery, a big shout. The umpire takes his time, not out eventually, but they're on a heater here is Guyana rather, or the Windwards rather.
Look at this replay here, Adam. Oh, it did have an inside edge of the bat before going onto the pads.
Yeah, good decision by the umpire. Of course, the Windward ladies, they're up on revving, ready to take any wickets. It'll be a tough period here for Sienna Barkoi and Ram Haridas. Just have to hunker in early stages here. Again in that corridor, not out says the umpire, but very, very tricky doors early on here for Barkoi. Two more balls left in the over. She'll have to just stay in there, not to lose another wicket in this first over. Selena Ross has gotten off to a great start.
Yes, bowling a very tight line. Let's have a look at this replay here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough with that ball just moving back into the batters here today.
Very good defense there by Miss Barkoi to end the over. One more ball for the over.
So 2 fielders out here, 3rd man and fine leg on the boundary. That first slip we mentioned earlier, a backward square, a mid-wicket that's just on the circle, mid-on, mid-off, short extra cover, and a point fielder. So there is a big gap square of the wicket, which of course they would want to entice Barkoi. So outside the line of the off stump, a bit of an inside edge. They will get runs here. Square leg will come around and tidy it up. So that's the first runs on the board. The over will come to an end with the score at 1 for 1. Tough conditions early on here for the Guyanese women. That ball will be moving about. Of course, there is a decent amount of breeze available here due to the open terrain available in the central range of Trinidad and Tobago. So a lot of breeze coming across this valley. Moving from right to left of your screen will just cause the ball now from the south end to swing away from the right-handed batters. That's Delicia Francois. She's going to take up the new ball from this to south end. Into Barkoi, just defended. They do have a tight fielding ring there inside that offside. There's a point fielder, a cover on the 30-yard circle, short extra cover, and a mid-off just waiting there to pounce on any driven deliveries. No slip afforded in place. There is that extra fielder on the leg side. It's a good delivery, a bit more conservative in terms of fielding positions here as they'll come through for a quick single. A stolen one there for Barkoi. She'll move on to 2 for 6. It'll bring Ram Horidas to face her first delivery of the game today. So no slips early on here, just allowing Delicia Francois a bit of extra protection. It's left-handed Ram Horidas on strike now. There is a big gap on that offside which they will now plug. The skipper Philip will run across and take up that short extra cover fielder. So similar field cover, point and a long and a mid-off rather. She'll come around the wicket.
Well played there by Miss Ram Hordas just to get the quick single.
Yeah, you think this is definitely what is needed now from Guyana. Just hunkering in, taking those bit of wideish deliveries, are looking to just take any singles on twos they can get right now. No need to do anything extravagant with that first wicket being taken early on here from Selena Ross. She'll be a problem from that south end, left-handed over the wicket to the right-hander, just bringing that ball in ever so slightly. Going for the drive, it was aerial, but will drop just short of that cover fielder. Barkoi just playing this down, taking that conservative approach that we just spoke about a bit earlier on. Can't afford to do anything extravagant here. You'd have to say eventually the runs will have to come off of Francois. Selena Rush is going to be really, really tough to deal with coming from the other end.
I must say, Guyana must capitalize in this power play, Adam.
Yeah, definitely. In addition to losing that first wicket, it will be on the back of their minds that those two fielders are only allowed early out here. So yeah, they would definitely think that they have to capitalize early on, but it's going to be tough as we keep mentioning Selena Ross. It's impossible to keep her name, to not speak her name when we are speaking about opening bowlers here. Definitely will be hard for her to contend with, but Barkoi seems to be taking a positive approach at least. It's not attacking, it's not too defensive, but she's looking to get whatever run she can get off of her bat, which is commendable.
And also trying to build up strong foundation of partnership with her batter on the other end. Another beautiful delivery there by Miss Ross. Just getting away from the batter.
Yeah, Ram Haridas, you'd think she'd have to start getting her front foot out there wide early on. It's going to be tough because Selena Ross is not going to give her much of those wide outside the line of the off stump, but she would need to cover that off stump for any of those balls pitching just on or around the top of off. Of course, it will be going away from her, so she does need to cover the stumps and then she can leave or play that drive. She's fishing for it outside there. It's going to be tough to get any sort of legitimate contact on that one when it's so far away. She's reaching outside line of the off stump.
And there's the difference between Miss Francois and Miss Selena Ross. There is a slip in place for Miss Ross. Seeing what magic she does with the ball.
Exactly.
Carrying it away from the batter. Hoping that the batter makes an error. Just gliding that ball into Slip's hand. Again, we see that same delivery. She's very consistent bowling her line and length here, which is having Guyana under pressure. So it is a good start from the Windwards.
Yeah, it's this sign of a good opening fast bowler, keeping that tight, almost test match line and length on or around off stump, just moving that ball away. She's going to have to manufacture a shot, you feel, because Selena Ross, she's not going to deviate from that line and length. They feel as though the edge is coming, the Windward ladies. And was there an edge on that? It seemed as though there might have been. Just burst through the hands of first slip, will be tidied up here.
Let's see if our production team could give us a replay there.
Not sure if it was a bottom edge or fully off the outside. Yeah, it seemed as though, yeah.
Yep, it could have been a wicket there.
Yeah, that's a chance, a big one. We spoke just now about that ball tailing away outside line of the off stump and that edge incoming. You felt as though it was a bit full from Selena Ross, but that one, Ram Haridas was actually able to reach and not quite well enough, obviously, just tailing off of that outside edge and bursting through the hands of Gilbert there and slip. That's a big chance.
Yes, so far in this tournament, it has been a fantastic showcase for emerging Caribbean talent within the Women's League.
Yeah, Selena Ross has as much talent as possible here in this league. She's one of the better players. Of course, representing at a high level. So, Bakoy and Ram Haridas keep repeating it. They're going to have to hunker in. There's one more ball left in this over.
And Selena Ross is also on the Women's West Indies lineup.
Yeah, so obviously coming in here with that pedigree. And she's showing it off right now. Bit shorter this time, just defended by Bakoy, so it'll take us now to the end of what has been an eventful 3 overs. Take a look at the scorecard here with Durant being taken early on without scoring any runs. So at the end of 3 now, it's 4 for 1.
Yes, Miss Ross, as you can see there, she's bowling really well. She's not even giving them a chance to rotate the strike.
Yeah, keeping that tight line and length. Have to think eventually, as you mentioned, capitalizing on this power play. Runs may have to start coming from this end from Francois, but Bakoy, or rather Ram Haridas, will face up here. The ball will be coming back into her ever so slightly. Should feel as though she can capitalize on anything that's on the wickets.
And this time, a change in the field as the captain of Windwards do bring a slip in place for Miss Francois.
It's really full.
And
playing outside the line of the off stump, coming just short of that fielder. That's Amaya Gilbert in first slip, so she needs to get a bit more out there to make proper contact with his deliveries, just peeling off the outside edge.
Yes, well said, Adam. So you can see Miss Francois is also using the aid of the breeze to help her get more swing onto that ball.
It's a half-hearted appeal here. There is a big gap afforded in that cover region. There's Philip there in short extra cover and a point fielder, so they are encouraging the drive, which Ram Haridas is more than willing to provide, but with that first slip there in place and of course the ball moving ever so slightly back into her. This one down the leg side may have, I don't think that was a shot of play there by
not a really confident shot there.
Yeah, not at all.
Yes, not a really confident shot there.
But no harm done. You'd have to feel the longer she stays out there. She's faced 8 balls thus far, gotten 2 runs, but you'd have to feel the longer she stays out there, the more confident she'll be. trying to target that gap. They're in really close there, that extra cover fielder, and that point just waiting to dive around on the edge of that square to take any catches. We're playing on the far left-hand side of the strip today.
Yes, and also the outfield's quick. So piercing the gap, it could race away for a boundary. So maybe that is what she's also trying to do.
This one off a French cut of sorts. They'll come through for a quick single there. Maybe two on offer as a bit of a misfield there by the third man fielder. But no harm done in the end. They only come through for the one.
Not taking any chances here.
Yeah, I don't think they need to. And as you rightly mentioned, NCC has a reputation for that lightning quick outfield. Very, very dry and hard outside here. As right on cue, umpire Vicky Daniels tells them to throw the ball up. No need to be damaging the ball this early on here. Barcoy looking outside the line of the off stump. It was a bit of a loose delivery. Could have gotten the edge on that, though it was close in the end. One run from the over. Score is 5 for 1.
Yes. Our match referee today is Mr. Rafi Tilak. And our umpire on the northern end, Mr. Rajkumar, is on the senior board panel. And Miss Daniel is on the women's panel. So we have really safe umpiring today, Mr. Adam.
Definitely the reputation obviously precedes them. As we see early on here, good umpiring thus far. Good effort in the field thus far as well from these Windward women. Selena Ross back into the attack. This one a bit fuller, and it's a lovely shot by Ram Horidashis, opening the face on that, playing it backward of square. Come through for that quick single. That's tidied up there by that point fielder on the boundary. Only a single in the end, so it's a bit too full on this occasion from Selena Ross, but she hasn't been deviating from that line, has she?
But also must say well played by the batter. Just glancing it and taking a quick single there. Right now it's all about just building the partnerships and keeping calm under the pressure Windward has put them under.
That's a good delivery. Another appeal, but sliding down the leg side a bit. So Selena Ross, she's getting that ball to tail back in. It seems as though she would rather bowl to the right-handed Barcoy. Of course, Ram Horidas is fishing a bit outside the line of the off-stump, but she's getting that ball to come back in ever so beautifully. We saw it from Mitchell Stark in the recent test match against the West Indies. A few wickets he would have taken just bringing that ball back into the right-hander.
Yes.
Bowling a nice full line and length as well, targeting the stumps. Oh, trying for a bit of an expansive drive. Again, it'll be a dot ball. So it looks as though Barcoy is taking a bit of an attacking approach. He has been there for 14 balls already, but of course, it's a 35 over affair. Doesn't need to be trying to go over the top early on, especially against Selena Ross. I mean, eventually she's going to come off the attack. She's into her third over now. So I think it's best to hunker down and not give her any more wickets. Yeah, it's going to be tough. She could look maybe to work it into that leg side. They do have a fine leg in place, a square leg and mid-wicket just inside the circle. So there is a gap afforded behind as well as in front square. Barcoy looks across there now. So maybe she can look to shuffle across and flick it if she is looking to turn over the strike here. This one is outside the line of the off stump and is beautifully driven through the gap. It won't make its way to the boundary. They'll think about the second coming through eventually. So a great shot there by Barcoy. She's been looking to take the attack a bit to Selena Ross. This one just a bit wider outside the line of the off stump, but full enough and well played by Barcoy.
Yes, just finding the gap there. And
one short signal by umpire Rajkumar, so we'll take one away from the score. She worked hard for those 2 runs. You have to say she's done herself a bit of an injustice. Another good delivery there to finish off the over.
yes, Miss Ross is she's into a nice rhythm now. She's hitting the same spot consistently, which is really, really good.
Yeah, but Barcoy and Ram Horidas We thought maybe we would see a bit of an early crumble here by the Guyanese women, but they've done well to stick in there thus far. Barkoi facing 17 and Ram Howard at 11 off of these first 5 overs. So not the score they would have liked to have seen on the scoreboard with 5 overs gone. But with 9 wickets in hand, you'd feel as though there's every chance that the Guyanese women could get a very, very competitive total in this first innings.
Yes, and at least Guyana is taking it nice and steady now at the crease.
So it's Francois to continue. Not much of an appeal for that one outside the line of the leg stump, but Ram Horidas just seems as though she's trying to put the bad ones away. It's not quite working out for her. Barkoi is moving along a bit more nicely. Of course, Ram Horidat does have that one more run because she turned over the strike ever so well across the last couple overs. This is a bad delivery. Could have maybe played that behind square. Just going down the leg side would have gotten a bit more value for that shot. Square leg will just come around and tidy it up, but Barkoi will come on to strike here. You'd have to feel as though Sienna Barkoi would rather face Delicia Francois right now than Selena Ross, because it seems as though she's trying to get a bit of a more attacking intent going.
Yes, and with this bowling lineup here, patience is the key, and Guyana is showing a lot of it. And that's a beautiful shot there. Just getting under the fielder. Really good effort from the fielder.
Yeah, she's starting to find her flow now as Barkoi. 2 lovely shots outside the line of the off stump. It seems as though it's only a matter of time before she starts to get into her stride. Delicia Francois and Selena Ross will of course be looking to curtail that as early as possible. Down the leg side again, missing out a bit is Ram Horidas. It'll be signal or wide, of course. So extras in the end, but just straying ever so slightly down the leg side, Francois. You'd have to think maybe she needs to start a bit outside line of the off stump, maybe underestimating the movement and the swing of the delivery.
Maybe this could be a strategy to throw off the batter.
Yeah, maybe she's looking for that big shot from Ram Horidat, trying to entice a top edge or a catch in that leg side region.
Just to get the batter off guard a little bit, making a foolish error. Maybe that is what Miss Francois is aiming for at this point in time.
Opening up is Ram Horidat. He'll come through for a quick single. A fumble there by the point fielder will do no extra harm in the end. You'd have to say though, Ram Horidas looks a bit suspect outside line of the off stump with those drives, a couple of them just peeling off the outside edge. So you'd have to say Francois would maybe take a different approach if that is the approach that she's going for. She'll have to bowl the last delivery of the 6th over to Barkoi, who's in a bit of an attacking mood.
She does have the field protection.
Oh, that's a good delivery. There is a bit of an appeal, and the finger goes up in the end. Umpire Vicky Daniels are judging that there was an outside edge there from Barkoi. She was just looking to attack those balls outside the line of the off stump. She has to go now in the end. Umpire Vicky Daniels taking her time again to make that decision. So a 2nd wicket falls here now. Guyanese woman in a bit of trouble. Take a look back at this beautiful delivery outside the line of the off stump.
A loud appeal there. Pirates taking a little time to confirm and give an out. And now this is a 2nd wicket down for Guyana.
Yeah, the Windwards have been doing really good work this year. Francois now taking up the mantle from her partner. They've gotten a wicket apiece. Bowled 3 overs apiece. They would be looking to maybe look to their skipper to get a couple more, maybe 1 or 2, as their tails are up right now. We'll see Lauren Williams will come to the wicket now to join the opening batter.
And that is a captain.
Lauren Williams will come to the wicket now to join the opening batter.
And that is a captain of Guyana.
She'll need to play a captain's knock here.
Yes. Miss Francois did bowl wide in her over before, but maybe that was the opportunity she needed to get the wicket. There's a replay there, and yes, you saw it comes off the outside edge of the bat.
Yeah, about as good as a delivery she could have bowled. Just trying to, on this occasion, just get bat on ball, not trying to be expansive, but it was such a good delivery. That corridor of uncertainty, and uncertain she was, and she has to go. So left-handed Ram Horidas will come on to face Selena Ross with the ball moving away from her. We saw she struggled in the last couple of overs. She's trying to drive those outside line of the off-stump with that gap being afforded in cover. A bit slower, a bit straighter from Ross this time. Just defended down. Maybe could have been a bit attacking. We've seen attacking intent. She's looking to go after those bad deliveries.
She's looking to cash in early in this innings. Miss Francois did make a really good delivery there, breaking that partnership.
Going at it, and it'll peel off. An educated edge, we'll call it, or she opened the face. Will run close to the boundary, and a good bit of fielding in the end by that square leg fielder coming around, saving that extra run. They'll come through for two rather, so she saved two on that occasion. We'll have a look back at it.
Yeah, really, really good fielding there. Just right on time, and throws it back. Really good backup by her pair.
Yeah, timed it well, and we'll see
a short run signaled again by the
umpire Rajkumar. So we'd have to assume it's Ram Horidas
is running those
short runs. Yeah, she'll have to just be a bit more concentrated. We spoke about the weather here. We said it was perfect for cricket. Maybe they're not feeling that out there as much. It's really, really hot. So a bit of concentration rather needed as fatigue starts to set in. She's been there from the beginning, Ram Horidas. So we'll bring Williams to face her first ball, the skipper. Down the leg side and missed by the keeper. Come through for a quick single on top. We'll wait for that signal from umpire Rajkumar. Leg buys in the end. Missing out a bit there again, you'd have to say. They do have that fine leg in place on the leg side, but that's a few deliveries now from both Ram Horidas and Williams on this one occasion that have just straight down the leg side, not cashing in. The batters on either occasion, they would look to put away those bad deliveries. Selena Ross, she's not going to give you much, is she? Trying to go for that drive again. Good line and length, good comeback from Selena Ross, just keeping it in that corridor of uncertainty and a great length as well. Forcing the batters to play. We can see Ram Horidas, we maybe would think that she needs to get her foot out there, she needs to cover the ball a bit better, but Selena Ross, all credit is due to her, has not deviated from that line and length, and it's perfect to just get the batters to try to reach for it outside the line of the off stump, which always causes problems, especially with that slip in place. This is a better delivery, defended again, so it's keeping it tight now. Selena Ross, we're looking to complete the 7th over now. Scored 14 for 2. A better rebuilding needed by the Guyanese women, but you'd feel as though eventually runs would have to start coming.
Now, Miss Ross here, she's on top of her game. You can see the confidence growing with every delivery here. She just wants that batter to keep fishing that outside line. Just keep fishing and they will make the error.
Yeah, about as good as you can hope for from an opening fast bowler. As I said earlier, as umpire Daniel will let us know, the power play has come to an end. So we're finished with the power play with the score at 14 for 2. It's done with 7 overs thus far. So now we would have to see what the skipper, Philip, if she's going to spread the field a bit more or keep that attacking intent on from the Windwards. Seems as though she would keep that attacking intent on, because you'd have a feeling that Ram Horidas and Williams would be hoping for a couple more fielders to get outside of the circle to milk the bowling a bit more.
Yes, to cash in on all the singles they could get. But really good decision by the captain here.
Francois, she was a bit loose in the last over. This one could be a bit of better work done by the keeper. It'll run through to that fine leg fielder for a single. Umpire Daniel will let us know. Just off your screen, another leg by. So need to tighten up a bit here, Francois. She looked very, very dangerous early on with the new ball. She'll be looking to see the back of Ram Horidas. She's been out there the longest. Francois, that's a good delivery outside line of the off stump. Equally well played. They'll come through for a quick single.
Yes. Captain Miss Williams will just have to play the anchor for a while as Miss Ramhardas is out there. She already got equipped with the field. She already know the playing conditions and how to play it. So maybe the captain will just hold an end for her to make the runs.
A shot on this occasion, and it's a top edge. We'll take a bit of catching. The mid-on fielder comes in, and look at the reactions from the teammate. That was a present, a gift almost. The new batter, Williams, a shorter delivery, short and quicker from Francois, and looking to pull it over that leg side for a big shot, but mistiming it a bit. We'll take a look at the replay here. One of the first shorter deliveries of the innings, and it seemed as though she knew she was done for. And you'd have to say a bit of getting to the ball quicker would have solved that issue. Just reaching for it, always a bit difficult. Coaches, of course, they would say you try to get and settle yourself under the ball as quickly as possible, taking it just in front of your eyes. And another drop catch and another big wicket goes a-begging. Shorter again, cut away. Will run past that point fielder. Third man will also come around. Tidied up, and then they'll only come through for that single, not getting those twos in the outfield there.
And they're looking for another one there.
Yeah, they'll get it on the overthrows, however.
Yes.
But can look to be a bit quicker as well in between the wickets to capitalize, because they're not getting a lot of bad balls here from the Windward's bowling unit.
Maybe they're just waiting for the spin to come into attack to maybe take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think Francois and Ross have been really, really good early doors here. Would be best to see them out a bit, but overs are going.
Bowler just choking the batter there, not giving her any room to play the correct shot she wanted.
Yeah, she's been looking to attack outside the line of the off stump is Ram Horidas. There is that gap we spoke about. That gap is still there, trying to entice that drive with that first slip fielder in place. Down the leg side, needs to tighten up Francois. Maybe the drop catch is just playing on her mind a bit. Not quite concentrated on the task at hand in the present. She is getting good purchase for her bowling against Ram Horidas, those ones that she's keeping outside the line of the off stump. So would do well to try to entice that drive with the skipper Phillip as well. She's waiting there in that extra cover position to pounce on any catches. This is a better delivery, but it seems as though fatigue is setting on a bit here early on. It'll bring us to the end of 8 with the score at 20 for 2. So a change in bowling, it would seem like, as keeper here calls for her helmet. Selena Ross had the ball in her hand. She would, of course, been ever so eager to continue her spell. She's been doing really well. But a change in bowling now. Spin will come into the attack.
It's number 17, so that will be Miss Mia Gilbert, the vice captain for Windwards.
She's going to come in with that off spin. She'll be drifting the ball a bit into the right-handed batter as well, in addition to turning it in. She'll need to start well outside the line of the off stump, try to entice the batters into that big flowing drive, and look to get in between the bat and pad. Yep, that's the line and length exactly. If she can keep it there, it'll be very, very dangerous because as we know, dot balls bring wickets. So she can keep her economy rate down. She does have a bit of extra protection afforded now. There is a third man on the boundary in addition to a fielder in deep mid-wicket. Yeah, she's there for that one, the shorter one that they just work into the leg side. So coming through for a single, Williams. Of course, she had that early opportunity. She'll feel as though she needs to reap her rewards from that gift that was given to her earlier on that drop catch. So now the left-handed Ram Horidas, we'll see a change in the field as she comes on. A leg slip being employed by Phillip, but she would not have noticed it was the lefty on strike. That's the need for the slip, so she'll move across to the offside now. Oh, and fishing again is Ram Horidat. Fielders would come inside the circle now, save for that fine leg on the boundary, just there for that paddle sweep around the corner.
Every dot ball, pressure is building.
This is really, really good bowling early on here. It's coming through with a decent pace in addition to just going away. You can see Williams is letting Ram Horidas know that it's jogging away. Yeah, she's going to have to play for that turn. She's playing on the line right now and just following the ball as it turns with her bat. But as we said earlier, she needs to get her shoulder over the ball by getting her front foot out there and covering the turn. Switching to around the wicket now is Gilbert. Oh yes, this is really, really good bowling. This time switching around the wicket, changing up the angle a bit, getting it onto middle stump and just turning away, beating Ram Horidas outside line of the off stump again. So now at the end of 9, score at 21 for 2. Guyanese women rebuilding somewhat, but it's a lot of pressure being put on here by the Windward bowlers. I think it's safe to say that we've seen the back of Francois. She started off really, really well, but a bit loose coming down into the last couple overs as fatigue would have set in. Take a look at that quick piece of work from behind from the keeper.
Smart
George.
batting in her crease, not giving the wicketkeeper that opportunity.
Yeah, with that ball tailing away from the left-hander, it's always a tendency to lose your balance a bit and raise that back foot. But as we said, she's playing the line of the ball. She's not really getting out there enough, so just kind of throwing her bat at it almost. Seemed as though skipper Phillip was contemplating a move onto the ball as we see the coach of Guyana just moving out there with the girls on the bench, strategizing, maybe looking to get a bit of a different angle of this game, a bit of a different angle to see what's going out there, to see how he can help these Guyanese batters.
New bowler into the attack. Miss Daisy Woods. Comes from the southern end. Oh, just missing her line there, going wide down the leg.
Yeah, coming in with right-handed medium pacer, loosener early on. The change up now, new strategies needed to be developed by Williams and Ram Horidas out there to attack this new bowling. They've seen the back of Selena Ross and Francois, but Woods will be looking to make an inroads here. Oh, that's a good delivery. It's missing out a bit. She was looking for that big on drive.
Just trying to find that wide gap left by Windwards.
Yeah, skipper Phillips, in addition to that cover fielder, they're really, really close in there in a catching position, looking for that upward drive from Williams. They do have a deep mid wicket all the way out on the boundary there, in addition to that fine leg.
A shot away there. And just turning down the single, Miss Williams.
Yeah, so third man fine leg, mid-wicket all out on the boundary, affording a bit of protection. We have seen these tricky medium pace bowlers do make inroads though. It's not always the easiest to play compared to the faster bowlers.
Just hammering that one down there. And she does get the single and she's looking for two, but can't take that there with the fielders.
So Woods will be looking to do some work on Ram Haridas here just outside the line of the off stump. She's gotten away with a few of those drives outside the line of the off stump. Some peeling off the edge, some narrowly missing the edge. Because she was dropped early on in that slip cordon off of one that peeled off the outside edge. So she'll switch and come around the wicket. Selena Ross, statesman in this side. Of course, one of the better bowlers in the Windward's lineup. She'll just advise her a bit on how to go about bowling to Ram Haridas. It's coming around the wicket now. She'll switch, just angling that ball back into the left-handed batter. Oh, and that's a beautiful delivery. She'll turn around. Not sure if she was appealing there, but clean bowl in the end. It was very, very full. So it seems as though the words from Selena Ross would have helped her. Just bowling on that middle stump line, cleaning her up eventually. We can see there a bit of help was offered, and the ball right after. We'll have a look. It was just full on the stump and looking again for that drive, but no feet movement. And so just going straight through. Isn't it great to have a player like Selena Ross, these stateswomen who have been around the game for so long, already in her youth, has had so much experience at playing across all levels, just offering that extra aid. So finally, they have gotten the wicket of Ram Haridas, the Windward ladies. And as we said earlier, tails are up here. It'll be Isaacs to join the new batter, Williams.
A really good breakthrough there, as you can see, because Miss Ram Haridas was the foundation of this batting lineup here. Just have a look at that there again. Dipping right underneath the bat there. A nice Yorker, I might say, Adam.
Yeah, nice dipping delivery as well. Dwayne Bravo would have been proud. He's famous for those slow dipping Yorkers in the T20 format. Employing it here is Daisy Woods off the back of some advice from Selena Ross. And she makes an inroads here early on.
I must say, Windward has a really nice bowling lineup, but so does Guyana. So this is definitely a game to pay attention to.
One a bit shorter. They'll look for that quick single. Mid-wicket will come through. Has a shy at the wicket. So yeah, as you said, it'll be an interesting matchup. You'd have to say both teams are pretty much evenly matched as well. Both possess fiery bowling lineups. So batting will need to hunker in. Guyana will be looking to make a high score here to put Windwards out of their misery early on. But Windwards bowling, how fabulous have they been so far?
That's a wide delivery there by Miss Woods. She is mixing her pace and mixing her lengths.
Yeah, as I said, these medium pace bowlers are not always the easiest to play. You'd have to look at Selena Ross and say, well, she's bowling so quick and swinging the ball, as we see the coaching staff making their way back around, coaching staff and substitutes rather, just having a walk around looking to get a different view of things. This one crashed away. There is protection down there in that deep mid-wicket, well fielded, and they will only get a single. So yeah, as I was saying, it's easy to look at the faster bowlers or even the spinners and say, well, look at how quick they're bowling or how much they're turning the ball. But medium-pace bowlers do have a tendency to mix up line and lengths in addition to pace, as well as being able to move the ball off of the seam. Josh Hazelwood, speaking of the recent Australia West Indies test, he's not always been considered the quickest bowler, but the way he's able to manipulate the seam and swing the ball around is a sight to behold. And Daisy Woods thus far has been mixing it up very, very nicely.
'Cause 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 'c
So Amaya Gilbert to continue here with those offies. Just a bit of adjustment in the field needed. They will bring that deep fine leg that we spoke about earlier. She'll come into the circle now and take up a short third man position. They send out that mid wicket, not quite on the boundary, just a bit 3/4. Williams, her eyes would have lit up big there. That was nicely flighted by Gilbert. She was bowling quick and pushing it through in the last over, but this one flighted.
But she definitely has the protection there. Really good field placement.
Oh,
in the air.
This one is in the air and is taken nicely by that fielder in mid-on. You just spoke about she does have the protection afforded. Just send that deep mid-wicket out there. So on this occasion, that one just coming back into Williams and looking to go for that big shot.
Yes, really good bowling, really good fielding strategy. Placed there, giving her the pressure she needed to just make that simple error. Trying to go big, Adam.
Yeah, you can see the thinking behind it, and it's always great to see the skipper, Philip. She'll be very proud of that one as well, to see a plan being executed so well and paying off in the end. So it's good work being done by the Windwards bowlers out there. This bowling unit, only 4 of them are bowled thus far, and they've taken 4 wickets, just about a wicket apiece, and the score is only 26 inside of 10. So it's really good work being done there by Philip and her crew.
And joining Miss Isaacs on the middle will be Miss Shawnette Belgrave, coming up to bat at number 5.
Gilbert has been a useful addition into this game, coming in with those short and flat off spinners. She set up, you'd have to say, with that first flighted delivery. Maybe she was thinking it was about to come flighted again and just trying to get on that front foot, but maybe rushed a bit, and that's what caused the top edge in the end.
Yes.
And a competent catch being taken in mid-on as well.
No mistakes this time.
This time, yeah, that ball would have been spinning as well off of the top edge and showing her compatriots how to do it out there.
Just mixing her speeds of delivery here. Another flighted one, and a loud appeal, and given by the umpire, Mr. Raj Kumar.
Yeah, that looked really good. She's on a hat-trick now. Amaya Gilbert absolutely running through this guy and his batting lineup. We'll have a look at it again. I mean, it may have been sliding down a bit, but looked really good from up here. We'll have a close look at it again. Ball, of course, would just be turning back in. Yeah, just sitting on that back pad, you'd have to say, and the guilty look at the umpire as well says a lot.
Says a lot. It did not go too much down leg, mainly just between middle and leg.
Yeah, keeping low a bit, not quite spinning down there. And of course, we spoke about the competence of the umpires out there, and an easy decision in the end. So it'll see a golden duck now, and Latoya Williams, she's out here to face a hat-trick delivery from Amaya Gilbert, who's been bowling ever so well coming on. She's only bowled 1.3 overs so far, and she's looking as though she would be giving Selena Ross some competitions for most wickets for the Windwards in this game.
Definitely, well said, Adam. And she's also making a change to the field, bringing deep mid-wicket into the 30-yard circle. So maybe she's trying to either flight this one or maybe push through this delivery.
Yeah, you would expect them to be attacking with a hat-trick delivery.
Yes, and let's see if we could have a look at this delivery again here. And yes, that's definitely out.
So here we go, hat-trick delivery. Gilbert is in, flighted on the line of middle, and the defiant defense shown there by Williams. She was not giving Amaya Gilbert that hat-trick under any circumstances, but it's been terrific bowling. She's only gone for the 1 run, and as we said, dot balls brings wickets, and she's been keeping her economy ever so well in check. Another good one, playing back this time. It would be advisable. Latoya Williams, she showed a clinic in the forward defensive. The previous ball would be well advised to try to get as far forward as possible and cover the turning deliveries. Amaya Gilbert looking to bowl a double wicket maiden here. Oh, and you'd have to say that's a bit of commentator's curse,
running
maybe.
down, and it's also running down, and she gets the 4 runs.
Yeah, needed to tighten up a bit back there, you'd have to say. That one flying through just shows you the pace that is being bowled here. It seems as though it might have been an outside edge rather, just flying past that wicket-keeping position and running into the boundary. No hope for those fielders coming around to cut that off. So, anticlimactic ending in some ways, you'd have to say, for Gilbert. Should have been looking to bowl that double wicket main, but nonetheless 5 for 2 inside 2 overs with the score at 30 for 5. It's fantastic bowling here from the Windwards thus far.
Definitely, and I must say, Miss Gilbert's over, she did have the slip in place, so if the batter do come forward, it could take a nick off the edge and straight into their hands. Maybe that is what she was looking for in that last delivery. And now Miss Woods is back onto the attack.
So Kayla George, the wicketkeeper, coming up to the stumps now for the medium pace of Daisy Woods. She's just want to signal the wide by umpire Danny Ram, but that's what she's there for. The ones that are missed down the leg and outside the line of the off stump, to just nip in there quickly and get that quick stumping. She would of course be up there as well to eliminate the fact that the batters would have been standing outside of their crease, to eliminate that swing factor from Daisy Woods. So now they have to stay well inside their crease with George lurking back there, allowing the ball to swing ever that much more.
Well bowled and also well played there by Miss Isaacs.
So just an over to negotiate here before the drinks break. 5 balls left rather. So they would be looking to get into the end of 12 here without losing any further wickets. One down the leg side, that'll be runs. Will take a bit of fielding out there on the boundary. A valiant effort put in the end, and it seems as though she does do excellent work out there and save the boundary. Really good fielding we've seen in the outfield thus far. We've seen a couple drop catches in the infield, but that has been made up for by the diving efforts of this Windward unit. Have a look. She ran all the way from third man just on the left side of your screen.
Beautiful cricket is being played here, just enough to forget about his heat, but
have a look at that. That's exemplary fielding, putting her body on the line and ensuring she did not touch a piece of that boundary rope. It's fantastic work out there. Shorter, looking to play that straight down the ground. Wasn't quite enough width afforded there to cut that square of the wicket, but negotiating this over not too badly thus far. Daisy Woods being a bit wayward, a couple wides being bowled as well.
Just string down leg. 4 more legal deliveries in this over.
Trying to pierce that gap between extra cover and cover. We spoke about the skipper Phillips. She's really close and they're looking for those catches. They will not get any quick singles inside the infield on that offside. Just looking to negotiate the last few deliveries is Isaacs.
Having a little conversation there with Miss Ross.
This one just straying down the leg side a bit. They will get runs as the fine leg fielder will come around and dive on top of that one to stop any extra deliveries. Yeah, it's as I mentioned earlier, it's always great to have a player like Selena Ross to be able to conversate with as you're running up on bowling medium pace. There is no one better on that field, you'd have to say, to have a conversation about what to do and what strategies to take out there. And Selena Ross, with her seniority, is offering that help and that advice to Daisy Woods, and it's been paying off thus far, taking that 1 wicket.
Captain did keep the field inside the 30 yard, not really spreading the field out, pressuring the batter, cutting those singles.
Would have taken a bit of the batter as it went down the leg side there. They will get runs, it would seem, in the end. Umpire Vicky Daniel, no signal, so it's runs in the end, maybe a bit off the gloves. George seemed shocked there for a minute. Seemed as though she wanted to put in an acrobatic effort to get across there. A bit too far in the end. So one more delivery left. It'll be Isaacs on strike, trying to negotiate this last one. How they would love a breakthrough before the drinks break, the Windward woman. Says full on the wicket, not a bad delivery in the end. It'll get through George again back there. They'll come through for that quick single. So negotiating this over well, umpire Vicky Danny Ramos signal buys. So that'll now bring us to the end of 12. 5 wickets are down for the Guyanese women with the score at 37. We'll take a short break and be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. The players are back on the field, and Guyana finds himself in a tricky spot at 37 for 5. The pressure is really on these young batters out here, and they need to steady their ship, steady their batting now, and make a strong foundation, as it's now the critical phase of the innings. Coming back into the attack from the northern end is Miss Amia Gilbert. Slightly strained down leg there. Pretty good fielding from Windwards. Miss Tia Isaacs is on strike at the moment. Allowed appeal there and given by the umpire. Miss Tia Isaacs will make her way off the field. Miss Amia Gilbert doing the job, having a really good spell so far. Five runs for 2 wickets, now making it 3. Another wicket is down for Guyana. Let's have a look at the replay here. Just coming and pushing this one through and just getting a tiny edge and a loud appeal and given by the umpire on the northern end. Coming into bat now for Guyana will be Miss Brianna Samaru.
It was a great catch back there by George, and it's been inspired bowling thus far from Gilbert. We had so much to say about Selena Ross early on, but Amaya Gilbert, have a look at those figures as you mentioned early on. She's really cutting in to the Guyanese woman here. The score is only 37. They still have a few overs left. They would be looking potentially to get upwards of 80 runs if possible, but it will be a truly daunting task with those 4 wickets down. Samaru and Williams will certainly have to put in a valiant effort here, but Amaya Gilbert, she's only into her 3rd over.
And bringing in her deep mid wicket back into the 30 yards. And yes, Adam well said, there's a lot of overs here left. Plenty of time for Guyana to recover if they bat smart.
Oh yes, turning the ball almost square on this wicket, leaving Samaru bewildered. Terrific bowling here by Amaya Gilbert, not giving them any loose deliveries at all, piling the pressure on Skipper Phillips. She's there in first slip. She'll be very happy with what she's seeing.
And taken by slip and given by the umpire, and that's another breakthrough there for Miss Gilbert.
It's a beautiful delivery. Look at how they are commending George back there. Maya Gilbert, she's on fire right now. You can see the effort that she put into that delivery, getting those extra revs. Look at where that pitched, so far away from the line of that off stump and just turning square and leaving Gilbert, I'll say it again, bewildered outside the line of the off stump. Amazing bowling, and Windwards, they are having a great time out there in the field, keeping the energy up, and Guyanese women, they're in trouble.
Yes, and Miss Trisha Hardat now has to face the fire of Amia Gilbert. 5 runs for 4 wickets in 2.5 overs. A magnificent spell here by Miss Gilbert.
But of course, Hardat and company will be looking to get their lick back in the 2nd innings. No slump with the ball at all. Guyanese women bowling attack, as we mentioned earlier. So Windwards will still have a bit to do with the bat. That's why they'll be looking to get Guyana skittled out for as little as possible. Anything could happen in the 2nd innings, you'll have to say. If they come out well in the first few overs, the Guyanese women. And we've seen they have an example being set here by the Windwards. Attacking intent from the skipper Phillip, attacking intent from all the bowlers, and paying off in the end. 7 wickets down inside of 13.
I must say the groundsman did a really good job, as you're getting value for your bowling in both spin and pace. It is not a one-sided bowling strategy.
It's really well noted. Obviously, we do commend the groundsmen at all of these events. It seemed as though they curate the perfect circumstances, the perfect conditions for cricket anywhere we go. Of course, NCC, one of the better locations in Trinidad and Tobago. Maya Gilbert now to end her over. She'll end with a dot, so it's a double wicket maiden. Have a look at those figures from Amaya Gilbert, showing up those opening bowlers thus far. We'll come to the end of 13 overs now with the score 37 for 7.
The projected score here is 100 runs. But what do you think, Adam? Do you think they will get to 100 with Amaya Gilbert if she comes back to finish her full 7 overs?
I feel as though that projected score may not necessarily take into account the 7 wickets down. Of course, that would be an ideal score almost, as we see this track is, as you said, allowing a lot of value for good bowling. But with 7 wickets down, exposing the tail here of the Guyanese women, you'd have to say it was a struggle early on. it seems as though there would be significant doubt in the minds of the Guyanese coaching staff to get to a high total here. They'll be strategizing and planning for their bowling attack now with any assistance that can be given here by the last few batters to come in. So it'll be Daisy Woods to continue. She'll come around the wicket to the lefty as she had done in her previous overs, taking that wicket, of course.
Miss Woods has really good control over the ball, changing her pace when needed.
So on just down the leg side on this occasion, though, she will do well to tighten up. The wickets are out there on offer. Just have to bowl good deliveries. Can see Phillips there. She's on your screen now. She's just off to the right of your screen. Very, very close in there at short extra cover, looking for those catches. So they remain attacking here, the Windward woman.
Miss Woods always begin her over, making this next over be starting with a wide.
Short on this occasion, looking to pounce on it as Williams. The square leg fielder will come around. They came through for a quick single. There was a chance for a run out there with a quicker throw coming in. But Daisy Wood, she has not been a bad supporting partner to Amaya Gilbert. But as you said, starting her overs with those loose deliveries.
Let's have a look at that there, Adam. Just trying to hammer it down. And collected by square and underarm thrown in. Yes, it could have been an opportunity for a run out.
Yeah, not the bounciest wicket here in Balmain, so those short deliveries not quite rising up. Both the batter and the bowlers would feel hard done. Trying to swing it down that leg side. Will Miss George and be collected by that fine leg fielder as they come through for a quick single leg by signal by umpire Vicky here on the southern end. So you feel as though if Woods gets a couple on target here, she would be able to incite a breakthrough. Guyanese woman not quite being able to stick in there. His good deliveries have been too good thus far from the Windward woman. Building the pressure on early doors here. We're still inside of 15 overs. Short and down the leg side. Needs to concentrate a bit more here. They can't afford these extras. As we said, the Guyanese women, they're not going to come out here thinking that the game is over. They're going to fight for this 5th place with that bowling attack. So extras may come back to haunt them in the end.
Just an update of the finals playing at Diego Martin ground here. Barbados versus Leeward Islands. The score is 66 for 6 as Leeward is batting. Update. And a loud appeal there, and it is out. It is given out.
Yeah, umpire Vicky not wasting any time on this occasion. That ball just sliding down the leg side, looking to tuck it behind backward square. And on this occasion, we'll have a look at if it was glove or that edge in the end. Oh, have a look at that. It was almost off the middle of the bat onto her thigh. She'll feel really, really hard done on that occasion. But Woods making the breakthrough. Good balls take wickets. That was a good delivery. Just looking to sweep it on the leg side. And you'd have to say a bit of an unforced error. You can't entirely blame her for that. Just playing that ball onto her own body. See Rebecca Cleto. She'll come out here with Trisha Hardat still on 0. So 8 wickets down now inside of 15 overs with the score at 41. Really good work being done here by the Windwards. So still more strategizing, trying to skittle out the Guyanese women for as little as possible. Just needs to get it on target. Daisy Woods, those ones that she has got on target, proved very, very fruitful for her. Of course, she would have the wise words of Selena Ross to guide her through. So it's 2 now for Daisy Woods. Supporting Gilbert well from the southern end. So Cleto to face up here. It's in the air and just short of Phillip. She'll dive on it and save any further runs. But as we said, she's really close in there, Phillip, looking for exactly that. The uppish drive being played in her direction. So Woods creating chances, and Amaya Gilbert has been so fantastic on the other end, picking up those wickets of the pressure being caused by Daisy, and just short, agonizingly short of Phillip. Really good work in the end. That was struck cleanly. Good delivery on the wicket this time, just fended off. So building up the pressure here. She has one more in this over to bring us to just about under halfway through this first innings. 8 wickets down. We'll be looking to get out of the heat these bowlers. Windward bowlers, they've done their job thus far. It's over to the batters here today. Still can get a few runs, these last 2 batters. You'd have to say they should add to the total a bit. Runs are out there. It's just been really good bowling. Really full, and that's well played. Not quite struck as well as she would have liked. Dot ball to finish the over to conclude 14. The score at 41 for 8.
Score 41 for 8, and coming to you from Diego Martin, 70 for 7. As Barbados is currently bowling and putting leewards under pressure. And at the UE spec ground, there's action still going on there. Trinidad versus Jamaica, with Trinidad bowling first with the score at 54 for 3. And without a doubt, back into the attack is Amia Gilbert Adam.
Wouldn't be surprised if she bowls her full allotment. Of course, she may not need it. Only 2 wickets needed.
And she just won for her 5.
Yep, she just needs one more for that 5er. It's been inspired bowling here from Amaya Gilbert. She'll switch now and come around the wicket, changing the angle to these 2 new right-handed batters here. It's Trisha Hardat on strike. That's a good delivery, but well played. There is a fielder out there. She will not be able to complete that catch and will go into the boundary ropes for 4 runs. So it's well played. Wasn't necessarily the worst ball from Amaya Gilbert, but picked up really, really well from Trisha Hardat. And it's the first boundary of the game.
And as you can see here, she gets under the ball and just lifts it over just a little bit again. Could have been 6. And I most believe this is the 4th boundary of the game.
Yeah, but I'd say that one was the most convincing. We've seen a few boundaries peeling off the outside edge. A couple wides as well, making their way down to the boundary ropes. But that was a competent shot from Trisha Hardat. I feel like it definitely has been the best shot we've seen all day.
A loud appeal there, and does not interest the umpire at all. Mr. Mia Gilbert just trying to get her 5th. I think, Adam, a slip should be put back in place.
Yeah, you'd have to say in these dying stages of the game, Phillip has remained attacking all game. Now I feel as though she maybe trusts Amaya Gilbert to just line those up on the wicket and not bring any fielders into play. But Trisha Hardat has something to say about that thus far. This is really full. Hardat playing it down to that mid-on fielder. A fumble will allow them to come quickly through for that single. Hardat making it eventually in the end. Cleto was slow off the mark, but Hardat, of course, would want to retain strike. It will bring us now to the end of 15. We'll have a look at it. Was close in the end, but Hardat comfortably making her ground in the end.
Maybe if there was not just a slip up by the fielder there, could have been a run out, could have been a 9th wicket down.
Yeah, but they still feel as though they represented themselves well thus far. Of course, we spoke about those 2 drop catches, but after that, they've definitely made it up, taking good catches in the outfield. So tidy, very, very tidy work out here thus far.
Energetic and determined to win this game.
You'd have to say, even with the score being around 50, is not to say it's not a competitive total necessarily. As I said earlier, if they get off to a good start, you'd have to say the Guyanese women are still very much in this game. They would, of course, hoped to have gotten off to a better start, having elected to bat after winning the toss.
Miss Amy Anthony is in the attack now in the bowling from the southern end. Another spinner.
Yeah, so a switch here again, maybe a bit of fatigue setting in, so a change in the bowling to spin. Medium pace was working, the medium pace of Daisy Woods, but a switch here now to try to skittle them out quickly. This is really full and really well played. There is a fielder that's going to come across in that deep mid-wicket positioning, but Hardat, she's looked the pick of the batting thus far, having only played two scoring attacking shots, but they've been good shots thus far. And of course, the Guyanese women would be very ever so grateful for any runs that they can pick up here. Skipper Phillips will come across onto this leg side now in a short mid-wicket position. Really full again. Deep long on will come in and collect it. So you can see the thought process here by Phillips. She's just letting Antoine get that ball way up in the air above the eye line of the batters and trying to force those aerial shots and force mistakes.
Well said, Adam, well said. And Miss Rebecca Clito is just doing the job of rotating the strike. As you can see, Miss Hardat is in her aggressive format now.
Yeah, but
nothing much she can do with that delivery.
It's good batting out there. Maybe the opening few batters from Guyana should have taken a note. Of course, it was exemplary bowling. Got value for good bowling, but needing to hunker in. Trisha Hardat is doing her best. Of course, a lot of time still left in this game. So if she can stick out there, the runs, of course, will come. As long as you're there, the runs will come. Just needs to stick it out. Another flighted delivery, well bowled. Defensive on this occasion is Hardat, maybe thinking that she wanted to get a single and retain the strike, but it'll bring us now to the end of 16 with the score at 48 for 4. Windward women are on top for the time being. We'd have to see what happens in that second innings. Of course, the Guyanese women bowling attack very much has the potential to pull it back for them. And any additional runs would be very, very grateful. Trisha Hardat, she's doing her best thus far. But of course, it's going to be Gilbert to continue. She will have to negotiate what has been an excellent spell thus far. This is not the greatest delivery. A good bit of fielding and backwards to get a hand on it and stop extra runs. They'll only come through for the single. There is protection and a deep mid-wicket. It's the only fielder that's on the boundary for Gilbert, keeping it very, very tight, but well played by Clito. It'll bring Hardat back onto strike. She's taken the attack to Amaya Gilbert thus far. Seems as though she's playing a different game from her batters early on.
Definitely. Again.
Oh, that's a good delivery, and you'd say a very, very big chance, just flying past the right glove of George back there. Seemed as though there was an outside edge, no signal from the umpire. So a chance going a begging. They would be looking to take the wicket of Hardat. It would seem like a big, big wicket in the circumstances, having gotten to 7 off of 14 deliveries thus far, maintaining that strike rate. Philip the skipper will come into that first slip position now, and the deep mid-wicket comes into the circle. Shorter this time. The flighted deliveries seem to be a bit expensive, but of course as a spinner you are forgiven for maybe going for a bit of extra runs, because those flighted deliveries do take wickets. This is in the air, it was short. She'll run back. There will be almost a collision. And what a catch in the end. Gilbert just diving out of the way of that mid-on fielder coming around. You thought for a second they both only had eyes for the ball. But in the end, as we've said before, certainly a performance, a clinic being shown in their fielding now after those 2 drop catch. We'll have a look at it. Spoke about those flighted deliveries bringing wickets, but Cleto couldn't resist at that one outside the line of the off stump, and it seemed as though Gilbert maybe misjudged it as well. So in the end, it turns out to be fortuitous, allowing that mid-on fielder to come around and complete the catch.
Yes. Now at this at this point, 2 more deliveries left, and Miss Gilbert has gotten her 5-wicket haul for just 12 runs in 4.4 overs. Now coming out to bat will be Miss Daniela Mans. Now this is the bowler they need to look out for when Guyana begins their bowling innings.
Yeah,
But
they will.
personally, I think Miss Amir Gilbert, seeing that Trisha Hardat is in attack mode, use the field and spread it out and maybe flight it more and let her make that error.
Yeah, exactly, and they do have a bit of runs to play with, you'd have to say, with the score only being at 50. Gilbert in, and you can see the reaction. Almost a catch being allowed. You can see the smile on her face as well. She's looking for that 6th, and you'd have to say, Philip should trust her bowler to bowl out and pinch that 6th wicket in the end if it doesn't come from this other end, the south end. So Amaya Gilbert will be looking to take the accolades home.
Just a quicker delivery might do it.
This is well flighted, and oh my goodness, I was just about to nonchalantly say that was the 6th wicket, about as soft as a dismissal that you could have seen today. But in the end, I mean, what was fated in the heavens after bowling such a good spell, being able to take that last and 6th wicket for her, such an easy chance, and just popping out at the end at the last minute.
Yes. Now she's definitely not going to feel really good about that.
But I mean, you can't fault and at the end of the day, even if she does pick up that 6th wicket, she'll say a 5 for today is really, really good work in the end. We'll have a look.
Yes. Oh, and just bouncing. Oh, and you can see the frustration on her face there.
It was a good delivery, but now Antoine from the other end looking to make inroads. Get that 6th wicket. It's a good shot, however. Will take some fielding, but of course Selena Ross is behind that. She's not going to let that fly past her. So Hardat out here. You think she would be looking to maintain most of the strike and maintain most of the runs as well, scoring a few.
Definitely.
That was one to go at Selena Ross. Comes across and a chance for a run out in the end. Terrific fielding, but excellent running by Hardat and Mans in the middle there. So getting those ones to dispatch is Hardat, but not quite being able to capitalize. It'll bring Mans on to strike. Of course, this is the batter they would want to be bowling against. Hardat seems more than competent out there.
Yeah, and Mans is new into the wicket.
Yeah, you feel as though if they don't get it bowled eventually, those prodded deliveries straight back as we saw in the last over the drop catch, those deliveries are being played a bit aerial, allowing those fielders to come in. Oh, that's a beautiful delivery, well flighted.
A lot of appeal, and that's not interesting, umpire.
Yeah, very good ball, but maybe just striking outside the line of the leg stump. But that's what she needs to do. Antoine try to goad Mans almost into playing that big shot, opening up that gap between bat and pad, trying to get that clean bowled. This is aerial and should be an easy catch. The skipper Philip will come across, and no mistake being made in the end. Of course, they are allowed to have a jig. 51 all out. The Guyanese women, terrific work. The bowling unit and the fielding of the Windward women, and great catches in the end to dismiss this side. And it's all Windwards, you'd have to say, coming down into the second innings. That flighted delivery worked, and Mans just trying to get as much runs as she could have. Bowler would have been interested in taking a caught and bowl, but of course the skipper Phillips would be the one to come across and complete it in the end.
Definitely, and really good teamwork here by Windwards, cleaning up Guyana for just 52 runs in 17.5 overs. And you can see Miss Ross is really excited there. We also had Miss Amia Gilbert getting her 5 wickets. And As they make their way off field, we will also be taking a break here at the commentary box, and we will be back with you in action when Guyana takes the next innings. Welcome back to all our listeners here. What a dominant performance with the ball from Windward Islands in the first innings, bowling out Guyana just for 51 runs in 17.5 overs. Now Guyana is on the attack with Miss Trisha Hardat beginning for them a dot ball in her first delivery. A quick single take on there, a little misfield by Guyana. It is a small target, but there's no room for complacency as Guyana will be throwing everything they have at this defense. A few early wickets and things could get really, really interesting here. Joining me back on commentary is Adam.
Yeah, should be a very, very interesting second innings here. As we spoke earlier on, as you said, no chance, no room for any easy mistakes, but it'll be the same on the end of the Guyanese bowling attack. They'll need to, it's absolutely essential in fact that they get a good start here and pinch a couple early ones.
And Windwards will want to take this really calm and steady, nice start. No need to rush this chase because only 50 something is needed in 200 balls. And just a little leg glance there and they run a quick single.
Yeah, well played. Opening on the Guyanese women batting lineup should have done the same thing, you'd have to say. It seems as though Francois and Gilbert out there with that plan of attack. I have to ask a question. Does Amaya Gilbert get a break? She picked up a 5 and she's out there with the batters started off here for Windwards, well and truly leading from the front.
I really think she's saying, let's get this over with and done.
Oh, just off the outside edge, and it should make its way down to the boundary for 4. Just getting past, in between rather. Keeper on that first slip.
Yes, just she took a look at her field placement there and played it late. A good technique here. If you take a look at it, just easily just getting it in between them, playing it down, not playing it too aerial to get, caught by the slip. And easy 4 runs secured for the Windwards by Miss Amaya Gilbert.
So she moves on to 5 now, as we said. No room for complacency. You'd have to say they have to take even those slight chances. The slip will come out now and move to deep on the boundary at 3rd.
Oh, and pulled away there, getting underneath and just falling short before the boundary. And it is another 4 runs to Windward's target.
It's a terrific shot, Amaya Gilbert on this occasion. Going aerial. No fielders in the deep, save for that deep 3rd and fine leg out on the boundary. We'll have a look at it again. What a great pickup shot, knowing that the breeze would help take that ball as close to the boundary line as possible. But you'd have to say it was a hit me ball with no protection out there and well put away from Amaya Gilbert, doing the job with the bat as well as the ball early on here.
Yes, a beautiful shot, beautifully timed to perfection. A little bit again, 6 runs. Let's see if she goes to take the attack into Trisha Hardat again.
Yeah,
or will she play it safe?
We spoke about this Guyanese woman looking to get their lick back. Hardat would have stroked a few good boundaries in her innings. Now, getting it back with the ball, this one as well was a ball that could have gone for 4, which it will eventually, thanks to a misfield by, that's number
43. And
Samaru.
Yes.
There at mid-on, so allowing early runs here which cannot be afforded. 14 off of that first over.
This is really expensive over. And first over that is too, Adam.
Yeah, too short on this occasion, you'd have to say.
They need to tighten that fielding. They should not have those silly mistakes inside there.
Yeah, Coach Grimond will be none too pleased. Of course, the name Grimond would have been synonymous with this Guyanese team. A lot of Grimmonds would have played. Skipper has just left, so we're in absence of a Grimmond for the first time in a good few years, it should be noted. Of course, Mr. Grimmond still that coaching staff, missing a big name, a big player. Guyanese woman here would be hoping that her help would not have been needed on this occasion. Hardat will be looking to get off to a good start.
Yes, and like I said earlier on in the innings before, This is the bowler to look out for. Danielle Mans comes into the attack with her spin. Windwards are in control now, but remember, cricket is a funny game, Adam. Flighted.
Yeah, loosen on this occasion, but you mentioned earlier Danielle Mans batting last. She walked off the field with a broad smile on her face. What do you think that suggests?
I'd suggest what goes around comes around. Remember, you need to face my bowling too.
Yeah, so she's revved up for this. Oh yes, and that's a good delivery. There is an appeal. It seemed like for a minute, might have thought that she would have raised a finger. It is notable that leg spin is not seen this early on in the innings, but
oh, just a little high there.
yeah, but those leg spinners with the likes of Samuel Badri, those that can control this new ball, you can see the turn she's getting early on here, almost turning square. Oh, and that's a dropped catch straight to the slip fielder. We said they need to take their chances, and that is a big chance going a begging there.
As you can see, Mans here, and the slip was ready. Just just a little wide of her.
Yeah, it came off the face of the bat like a flash, smacked in straight into her hand actually before she even had a second to think about grasping it. But leg spin is always dangerous with the new ball, getting that ball to jag off of a hard seam. Oh, and another big shot being attempted here by Francois. It's been all dots to start with Danielle Mans. She did have that loosener first ball that was not put away, but you said that she does have prolific talent.
Yes, 52 might not be a big score, but defending it takes discipline.
Flighted again, getting bat on it on this occasion is Francois, so it'll bring to the end a polar opposite over from Danielle Mans. Trisha Haddad going for 14 in that first over. It's a maiden here to begin from Danielle Mans. The score will remain the same at 14 without loss after 2.
Could have been an easily wicket maiden here for Miss Mans.
Yeah, she'll feel as though she'll have to get back for that, but as it's worth mentioning, it's worth repeating, this leg spin bowling, in addition to getting that ball to jag off the seam, the new shinier face for that flipper delivery is just going to skate straight on. So if Mans does have that in her locker, it'll be an interesting delivery. It'll be interesting to see how she goes about bowling this leg spin with this new ball early on. We see a change in bowling. Hardat was only given the 1 over. It'll be Rebecca Cleto to come into the attack for this 3rd over. So an interesting move there from the skipper.
Definitely.
Hardat does have the experience with this Guyanese youth women's team. Oh, but this one is really flighted, and they're going after the bowling. Is Gilbert and Francois. Not necessary to that extent, you'd have to say, but they are looking positive against the bad deliveries to put them away.
Yes, Adam, and you can see Guyana's taking a different approach in their bowling strategy. They are implementing spin on both ends now with the new ball.
And this is aerial. There is protection, but it was smacked so hard, no fielder was getting to that. In the end, we'll wait for the umpire's signal. From up here, it looked as though it crossed the boundary ropes all the way for 6 runs. A flighted delivery, and Gilbert throwing the kitchen sink at it, a similar shot to before, but this one was placed a bit squarer and in between that long on and deep mid-wicket fielder, and results in a 6 in the end. So it's been a great start, at least from this northern end, for the Windward's batters.
Especially for just Miss Amia Gilbert. As she goes again.
Yeah,
this time the fielder does no mistakes, makes no mistakes, and letting that ball slip away.
Yeah, it seems as though the strategy here is to get those batters the ball above their eye line and to get their eyes to open big for those big shots, which they have been obliging thus far, trying to pick up the wickets like that, but the Windwards have been up to the task. Short and wide and cut away forward of that field, that extra cover. She does get a hand hit, will save at least a couple of runs in the end. So will bring the attacking Amia Gilbert back onto strike. She, of course, took those 5 wickets early on. Could have had 6 She's looking to get it back now with the batting and put in truly an all-around performance here. Oh, she wanted to go at that one as well, but it was a good delivery. They have that protection and a deep mid-wicket and a long one out there for that hoik almost across the line. This cut away straight to that fielder at extra cover for no run. So a dot ball to end the over. It's been rather expensive from this north end, at least thus far. Will bring us now to the end of 3 overs with the score at 22 without loss.
See a strong batting partnership here with Miss Francois just holding down the end and Miss Gilbert having a go at everything.
Yeah, try to make quick work of this one here. Of course, the winner of this will officially claim 5th place in this Women's Regional Under 19 tournament.
And Man's back into the attack here.
So she'll be looking to pick up that wicket. Of course, the dot balls would help, but you'd have to say with this small total.
Yes. She's looking to bowl another tight over here, and this is exactly what Guyana needs right now.
Yeah, I'd say I'm really excited to see how she looks to change up her deliveries as well, employing that googly, that flipper, that top spinner.
Yes. Good mix of pace and variation here will keep the batter on their toes. Like I said, there's no need to rush.
So on drag down, but look at the bounce on offer, just catching the seam. And it must be noted, we saw the dropped catch from Durant. We said it reached her before she had time to think. She's really close in there, isn't she, as a first slip? Have a look at it now, just off the right foot of that keeper, and from this other end as well. She's really close. This is flighted, and well, there was an appeal. Seemed as though it would have been good had it been close to the batter. There's a no ball signal, which you'd say is a bit surprising. It seemed as though it struck on her pads.
Let's see if it is a front foot no ball.
I think that's an interesting call by the square leg there on that occasion. Struck her thigh pad very clearly under the waist.
Yes.
So for the free hit delivery, trying to go with that big shot, she will get a single to that long off fielder, so it spoils her figures a bit now. Daniel Mann, she would have been looking at another maiden hopefully, but that no ball and single, she now has conceded 2 in the over. But looking to come back and pinch a wicket here, Maya Gilbert has been going absolutely guns thus far.
And Amia Gilbert will now face up Mans. Let's see if she takes the attack to Mans or if she plays it safe.
Yeah, Mans has been flighting it, looking to get those big shots being offered, and of course the ball turning very, very big out there on that square, so affording some problems. But Amaya Gilbert, she seems up to the task thus far. 20 off of 10. Oh, that's a good delivery, nicely flighted. Does peel off the inside edge. Was a single on offer, deciding to play it safe. As you mentioned, Windward's not needing to rush anything at this point in time. They could even afford a couple maidens as well. That's to tell you the extent of what is needed out there. Just need to stick in, and the runs will eventually come. Drag down that one. There is protection in a deep mid-off.
But does not get there on time.
Yeah, she's not going to come across there. It was a bad delivery and very well played. You can't give those to Maya Gilbert, can you? She's been absolutely dispatching every bad delivery thus far. So we come now to the end of 4. It's been a very, very accomplished batting thus far from the Windwards. The squad 22 without loss.
Have a look at the replay there. So just gets down on one knee and pulls it through the gap. Fielder trying her best to reach there on time, but could not stop that boundary. Amia Gilbert is on fire. 5 wickets in the innings before, and now 24 off of 12.
Yeah, definitely in contention for player of the match early on in the second innings, you'd have to say. Thus far, it seems as though she's playing a different game from everyone else out there. Mentioned Trisha Haddad taking the attack to Amaya Gilbert. Amaya Gilbert has taken the attack to just about everybody that she could have today. It's a good delivery outside the line of the off stump. Cleto will continue, so choosing to keep hard at back would seem as though she does have the experience to be able to negotiate a situation like this, but trusting the off spin of Cleto, electing to go with the spinners here. Inside the line of the off stump, just played down watchful from Francois. As you said earlier, she's playing that role. She collects the praise and approval from Amaya Gilbert, playing that defensive role, sticking in and offering a partner to Amaya Gilbert on the other end.
And a quick single take on there.
Yeah, a bit hesitant, it'd have to be said. The Windward ladies not looking to get run out, but there are singles and twos available, and each run that gets taken away from the score rather, Guyana would feel very, very much as though they're falling out of the game somewhat. Need to take a wicket here. This opening partnership just running through thus far. Going straight back, and it's a beautiful shot. No need to run for that one at all. Flighted from Cleto and Amaya Gilbert. It's definitely been a clinic. I mean, what else can you even say? She's played beautiful shots. She's bowled so beautifully earlier on. Yeah, something that the Guyanese women lacked earlier on, not being able. They got a few bad balls, but they weren't able to put it away. And Amaya Gilbert, she's going guns.
I think Amaya Gilbert is batting with sense, but she's also taking the chances because they haven't lost the wicket as yet. So she's maybe saying, maybe I could go hard or go home. And she goes hard again. Secure another 4 runs.
Yeah, the cheers are coming up now from the Windward's camp. They're feeling well and truly on their way now to claim this 5th place. Amaya Gilbert, she moves on to 32 off of 15 deliveries. Look at that score, 37 without loss. If Windward's had batted first, you'd say it would have been a much different total in that first innings. Yeah, just extending on it. She has those long levers, afforded her the ability to get that extra pace when she was bowling, and now she just can let her hands go at anything in that arc. It seems as though anything in or around that good length area, she's throwing her hands at it and getting good pitches, good value for shots. So Mans here will have to take the team on her back to some extent. You'd have to say, you'd think she needs to pick a couple up in this over, just outside the line of the off stump. Probing, they've had their chances so far, the Guyanese women, but you can see the body language out there. Seems as though they may have accepted their fate somewhat. Of course, a further 15 runs needed with 9 wickets in hand seems like an improbable task. It's well played, and they will get runs for that as well. Coming through for a quick single. Really, really good technical ability being shown out there. In addition to that intelligence you spoke about, that match awareness, the ability to mix the quick singles in with the attacking shots, and as you said, not having lost a wicket.
Yes, and I must say Guyana is determined.
Oh, that was there to go as well. Keeping a bit low, will run through the keeper, and eventually it seemed as though it wanted to make its way to the boundary for 4. They'll come through in the end for 2 runs very, very easily. Great running between the wickets, and it looks as though those chances, those little mistakes are coming through now for Guyana.
Really good fielding there from third as well, stopping that extra 2 runs. Now 12 is just needed off 177 ball.
Short again, looking to pull away. Will take a bit of fielding. Excellent work being done there by number 44 inside the circle, saving a team a bit of extra runs, but maybe it's a little bit too late now, you have to say, with 40 already being put on that scoreboard inside of 6 overs. Flighted, and oh, she was going again, looking to attack absolutely everything. Amaya Gilbert, those full deliveries. She's played a couple good shots over the top already. There is protection in a deep mid wicket. It's the only fielder outside the circle. Have to remain attacking with only those 12 further runs required. That's a really good delivery, just dipping under the eye line. Got an inside edge on it. They'll come through for 2 as the backward square fielder comes, or for 1 rather, as the backward square fielder comes around and tidies it up. So now, at the end of 6 overs, 1 more over left in the power play. Seems as though the Windward's women are trying to get it done before that. Score is 41 without loss after 6.
Yep, and this brings up their 41-run partnership between Miss Francois and Gilbert. I must say Miss Francois is doing a really good job. She is there. We know she has the ability to put away the balls, but she's rotating it and giving everything to Miss Amaya Gilbert.
Yeah, it must be commendable, this Windward side, how truly all wrong they are. Delicia Francois opening the bowling, Amaya Gilbert coming in first change, and they're both out there with the bat. And obviously, there are no slouches with the bat. I mean, look at the score right now. It seems as though they're well and truly on their way. We could have seen some big scores had they had more runs to chase. But we will now see
Vice Captain Miss
Crystal Durant. He's going to come into the attack. He's going to try to pinch those wickets. 2 wickets would have made things interesting having gotten these opening batters out. But of course, a further 15 runs or so required. 11 runs rather. So you would have to say a truly inspired performance would need to be shown by these bowlers, but it seems as though it's too little too late. Amaya Gilbert seems as though she doesn't want to go anywhere. She's out there enjoying the hot sunshine. It's a good start, very, very full, looking for that single. Amaya Gilbert, her technique has been exemplary today, playing those good balls on their merit.
Bear in mind, Guyana did win the toss and opted to bat first.
Yeah, they would be really, really disappointed not having gotten off to a better start. Batting first did not seem like the worst decision in the first place. It's very, very sunny. There is a bit of cloud cover, but not much to speak of. And the wicket itself, of course, we spoke earlier about the work being done by the groundsman here at NCC. It's an absolute perfect batting track almost. It's well played under her eye line. Gets through the gap between point and cover. They'll come through for 1. The second not on offer. Just cleaning up there before the boundary rope. So it's now 10 runs required. 10 runs required. Not a wicket being taken so far by the Guyanese woman.
I must commend Guyana for the spirit of the game.
It'll feel like a tough loss though, having won the toss and gotten to do what they wanted to do, posting such a meager total. It has to be said in that first innings. We spoke about how good their bowling has been throughout the tournament, but the Windward women, they have come today and have absolutely outshone this Guyana team, it must be said.
Just missing her run up twice there. I think Miss Durant is a little frustrated.
Yeah, it must be frustrated in the end. I was about to say, imagine both sides of it right now, how the Windwards must be feeling compared to these Guyanese players. They toil hard, they tried their best in the first innings, and again, absolutely no fault of the Guyanese women or the Guyanese coaching staff, anything associated to do with Guyana, you'd have to say. It's just been an absolutely incredible performance by these Windward ladies. So on down the leg side protection there in a fine leg rather, just knocking through, getting 1 by 1 by 1. This one signal a leg by, so just 1 more to the total, 1 more knocked off. We're in single digits now, just about coming to the end of this game. Can't be said enough how well the Windward women have portrayed their team and themselves today. Amaya Gilbert obviously standing out.
Just mistimed that, and Miss Field gave them the opportunity for a single.
Yeah, it's really easy for them out there, it appears, just rotating the strike very, very nicely, mixing in those attacking shots. No need to get attacking. We're done with the first power play here inside of 7 overs. Umpire Vicky Daniram will just let us know that right now. So they are afforded more fielders outside the circle, but I think at this point it's remain attacking and force these batters to go over the top a bit and force their way to victory. But with 10 wickets in hand, it seems as though the game may be well and truly wrapped up. Man will continue. So deep mid wicket still being employed. It's the only fielder out of the circle, or rather,
With the long on as well.
yeah, she'll be joined by that long on in addition to a cow corner fielder. So there's a ring being formed on that leg side for the big shot. But you'll see Amaya Gilbert would probably just stroke it down, rotate the strike, get a couple of runs inside that in circle because nobody's on that onside to cut off that single.
Definitely. They could probably even get 2.
Yeah, definitely. Very full down to Isaacs here at long on. Come in and tidy it up very, very nicely. Just going through the motions now, it appears. Both teams, Windwards, would feel as though they truly deserve this 5th place today. They would have felt if they could have put this performance on earlier on in the tournament as well, they would have been in contention. We spoke about Trinidad and Jamaica down in USPEC for that 3rd place playoff. They would have been eyeing up a spot like that on the back of a performance like this. But they'll feel like champions in their own right. You'd have to say it's been an all-around stellar performance.
Yes, well said, Adam. Just have a update to the scores right now. So Trinidad is still bowling with 83 for 7. It's a really good game going on there at the moment. And Leeward's under 19 women are 89 for 8 in 19.5 overs.
Slogged away for a single.
And there's rain delay in the finals in Diego Martin, and sun is hot and out here in Couva and even in Uwe. Oh, well played there by Miss Franca, giving Miss Gilbert the strike.
Oh, you would have to feel for Mans because that's not the first time she got struck with that ball either. The previous delivery, that throw incoming, she also took that off of her body, so it's hurt on top of hurt, you'd have to say, at this point in time.
Yeah.
Guyana look as though they just want to get off the field.
You can see the fielder threw that ball with some intent that, I'm vexed. I just need to hit that
the frustration is palpable out there. So Mans in here to complete her 4th over.
4 needed. Gilbert just stretched and gets
a chance for a run out, a directed. Would have been interesting. I think we would have seen the back of her on that occasion, but getting through safely in the end. We'll have a look at how close it was. Eventually a drag down could have maybe found a gap. It was a great throw, and yeah, she would have been out, and Mans almost collecting a 3rd in a row.
Yes, 3 runs just needed to secure 5th place here at the National Cricket Centre.
You'd have to feel for the Guyanese women. They toiled through that first innings, things not quite going their way off of the back of some excellent bowling from the Windwards, and in this innings they are unable to get a wicket at all. We thought it would have been a much, much closer game, but as we keep saying, the Windwards have very clearly stamped their authority. And we spoke earlier, we saw the Windwards unit right before the game start. We did mention for the fact that this is a 6th place playoff. The vibes that the Windwards brought in here this morning, we mentioned it, dancing, the music. As this one just goes through, could be the end of the game. It is the end of the game. In fact, it just goes through behind the keeper. And look at the celebrations. The Windwards team rushing onto the field. Very, very well-deserved and well-deserved celebrations in the end. Not losing a wicket. A comprehensive victory. Look at that 50-run partnership without losing a wicket. What a performance.
And hats off here to Miss Amaya Gilbert, bringing home the game for her team. Not out, getting her 5 wickets, right? Also, I must say both teams deserve credit here. Windwards have been clinical in their chase, and Guyana, despite the low total, have shown heart, effort, and fight till the very end. Win or lose, Adam, it's been a great display of youth cricket here today.
Yeah, have a look at those stats. 1674 is 150 strike rate. In addition to those 5 wickets, there is absolutely zero competition for player of the match here today. 100% Amaya Gilbert. She should feel very proud, as should the Windward's bowling unit. Incredible, and we can't even speak on the Windward's batting. It was such a good performance by those 2 opening batters. Absolutely no more batting needed, and what a game, as you rightly said in the end.
Like I said earlier, Miss Amaya Gilbert came out with a mindset, go hard or go home, but apparently she decided to say, I'm going hard and then I'm going home.
And certainly the celebrations will be on the way home. We spoke about the vibes they had at the beginning of the game. They will certainly have a lot of vibes at the end of the game. Should feel very proud of themselves, as well as the Windward's coaching staff. So that'll bring the end now to the 5th place playoff here in NCC. A convincing victory from the Windward's under-19 women, with standout performance from Amaya Gilbert. Thanks from us here at Cricket 360.
And I would like to say thank you to all our listeners for tuning in today. And you can catch the finals on YouTube, as well as the 3rd place playoff on the West Indies Cricket channel. As we leave you all, have a great day.